Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, but if you haven't noticed, I did dye my hair. I went lighter. I took out all of the black. Right now it's still kind of like an orangey-ish color, but I'm letting my hair rest in the meantime, you know, that I go back to my second session. And surprisingly, my hair got really light for the first time that I bleached it or whatever, and it's super healthy. Usually, you remember how I was telling you guys in my previous video, whenever I bleach my hair, it gets so fucked up. Well, I have been treating it with this amazing product. It's by Paul Mitchell. It's the Awa Puhi. And when you go lighter with your hair and you use like chemicals in your hair, it's really good to replenish your hair and treat it with treatments or like, you know, oils and all that good stuff. So yeah, today's tutorial is going to be a tutorial on this look. I have a separate video on how to do my eyebrows. Anyways, I'm going to shut the fuck up and get started with the tutorial. But before I get started with the tutorial, I want to show you guys the palette that I'm featuring today, which is the Anastasia Shadow Couture World Traveler palette, which I have been obsessed with. And the colors that I'm using are like the brownish ones. I use a little bit of the purple and also the pink champagne, which is my favorite color, and I used it on the lid. Anastasia did an amazing job at formulating these eyeshadows because all the Anastasia eyeshadows are amazing and they work beautifully, especially if you don't really know how to blend. The colors blend out themselves, literally. And then also on my lips, I'm wearing one of the new liquid lipsticks from the fall collection. If you guys are too scared to wear like a really dramatic color like this, I would say go minimal on the eyes and don't like do too much. But since I was feeling glam as fuck today, I was like, alright, I'm gonna go super dramatic. You can totally switch up the lip color. You can use a red, a burgundy, a dark red, or even a nude. I was kind of like wanting to do a nude, but like I said, I was really excited to use these. Hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and if you want to know how to achieve this look, then please keep on watching. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with Soft Ochre Paintpot by MAC. This is just going to help all of our eyeshadows stick on all day, and it's going to help the colors show up exactly like what it looks like in the actual palette, because I know for a long time I struggled with that. I like to mainly focus most of the product on the lid and then slowly fade upward, because on the lid is where we use the color that we want to be most pigmented. In this case, it's going to be the shimmery one in the Anastasia palette. To start this look, I'm going to go ahead and be taking the color Morocco from the Anastasia palette, and I am taking a blending brush and we're going to go ahead and fade that. I speeded the video up so it doesn't take this short amount of time. For those of you who think that it takes no time at all, it's totally a lie. But make sure you take your time with this step, because this step is going to make or break your eyeshadow. So make sure to blend out everything very seamlessly. And I went in with my Sigma E40, which is another clean blending brush, just to go ahead and clean up any rough edges. Taking an angled shader brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the color Soft Peach, which is a matte creamy shade, and we're just going to use this right underneath our eyebrows to highlight our eyes. Using a tinier fluffy brush, I'm going to go in with the color Fudge, and I'm going to be applying this on the outer corners of my eyes. I like to use this brush to specifically deposit, and then I go in with another brush, which is a dupe for the MAC 217, and this one is by Morphe, and I like to blend out the color that I applied with the smaller brush. And you can go ahead and keep adding, just depending on how dark you want your look to be. Now this is my personal favorite step. I'm going to go ahead and take this flat shader brush, which is by far one of my favorite shader brushes. It totally beats the MAC 239. It works well with dry products and as well as cream, which is super duper hard to find. And then I went in with a color called Pink Champagne, which is the best color in the whole palette, and applied this on top of the primer and just keep packing it on until you reach your desired amount. So now I'm going to go ahead and line my eyes. I sped this up really quickly because If I were to not speed it up, we would be here for literally like 15 minutes. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my brown retractable liner by L.A Girl to line the bottom. I didn't use black because I didn't want it to be too harsh, and brown always adds some softness to the look since we're already going really, really dark with the gel liner. And I like to apply this on the lower lash line as well, and this is how I achieve my smoked out look. You can go ahead and add whatever color eyeshadow that you want on top of this, but for this specific look I wanted to use the purple in the palette, and I used that same little tapered brush that we used earlier on in the tutorial to apply the brown on the outer corners of the crease. So then with a smaller brush, I went ahead and grabbed pink champagne and the color Chic to highlight the inner corners of our eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Alex Faction lashes, and by the way, I do have a coupon code. These are by far my favorite mink lashes at the moment. To finish up the look, you can totally use whatever lashes that you want to use. Now moving on to the skin, I'm going to go ahead and prime my face with the NYX HD primer. I like to use this one specifically when I want to be really, really dramatic and I want my makeup to last on all day. I believe it does have SPF, which is why it kind of gives me like a white cast, so don't worry about that because your foundation that you apply on top of that will go ahead and cover that. And in this case, I am using my matte foundation by Nars, and I never really pick up this foundation, but since I wanted to try something new, I went ahead and used it. So go ahead and apply your desired amount. I would suggest to apply a lot because you can never wear too much makeup. And I always use my beauty blender to blend out my foundation just because I feel like brushes tend to make my face look streaky. Now I'm taking my L.A Girl Pro Conceal. You really don't have to do this step, but I really feel like this step adds to the effect of the highlight and contour. I use the yellow just because I am a yellow undertone, so if you are a yellow undertone, this would be perfect to use, and I just use this underneath the eyes because this is going to brighten. I guess it's kind of like a reverse step of, like, instead of using the banana powder, you kind of use it as a cream. But since it's a little bit too yellow for me, I always apply the classic Ivory concealer right on top of that, which is another one by L.A Girl as well. And with this one, I'm going to be applying it all over to the highlighted areas, which would be the forehead, down the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, underneath the eyes, and then I like to add a little bit right underneath where my contour is going to be, just to add a little bit more to the dramaticness of this look. You can totally skip this step and you don't have to use as much makeup as I'm using, but like I said, I love to wear makeup. So for the contour shade, I'm going to use the color Toast, and I use a little bit with this one. Be careful with this concealer because it is super pigmented, and if you apply too much, it's going to be a hot mess. So don't get overwhelmed when you like blend out the the contour color, because you can always go back and blend in with like a foundation to help like dilute the darkness of the shade. Take your time with this because this video is sped up, and I can't emphasize that enough because a lot of people kind of like make these videos and people are like, what the fuck, like why isn't mine as perfect as hers in the video? But you have to understand that when you record these videos, it's kind of like different than when you're doing it like on yourself. So just take your time because typically it takes me about an hour to do my makeup, not 12 minutes. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my foundation, and I'm using my beauty blender for this step. I like to pack it on. This is a way to make your foundation last all day. Can you guys hear that? It's like my computer heating up because I've been editing this damn video for like 8 hours. So go ahead and leave this on your face for about I would say a minute, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and then you can go ahead and dust it off with a brush. Any brush will work, and then whatever you have left over, go ahead and kind of like apply it over where you applied your contour, because remember we haven't set that, so go ahead and just kind of like buff that in there. Going into my Anastasia Contour Kit, I like to mix the last two colors just because I feel like none of the colors kind of fit me, so I kind of just mix all of them. With my fan brush, I love, love, love this brush because it gets right into the hollows of my cheeks, making it super easy for me to contour. So I go ahead and use this for my contour, and then for my highlight, and for my blush as well. So the highlight that I'm using is called Opal. What I hate about highlights is sometimes like when I break out, it kind of fucking highlights like my little pimples. So I'm just like, I'm kind of screwed, but whatever. For my blush, apparently I didn't use my fan brush, but you can go ahead and use the fan brush or whatever brush you want to use. I don't remember what brush this is. I think this is by Sigma, but the blush that I'm using is Springsheen. I have a very light hand when it comes to that because I personally don't like blush at all. So the mascara that I'm using is one by Hot Makeup. I also have a coupon code for that. I will go ahead and leave all my coupon codes down below and all of the products that I use today, because it is so many products for me to like list or like verbally say in the video. And then I am using my Anastasia liquid lipstick in the color Sepia to finish off the complete look. So that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys want in the comments down below, even though it's going to take me like probably like a month to like finally get to it. But hey, better late than never. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.